Indiana cops make breakthrough in 2017 cold case that has gripped the nation. A 50-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the Delphi murders of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. Richard Allen, 50, was taken into custody in Indiana on Friday. It remains unclear what exactly he has been charged with. Their murders remained unsolved for 5 years. Allen's arrest is the first time his name has been publicly associated with the case. Allen's connection to the girls remains unclear, and police say they will not hold any kind of press conference until Monday. He was initially booked into the county jail but was moved to a state facility shortly afterwards out of fears for his own safety. In December, there was a flurry of excitement over the case after cops tied a fake Instagram profile Anthony shot to the investigation into the murders. The person behind the account was Keegan Klein, who was 22 at the time of the murders and was arrested a month after them on suspicion of CSAM possession. He lived not far from where the girls were killed, and many drew similarities between him and the man the girls photographed on the bridge. Klein, however, insisted that he was innocent. Delphi police have always been tight-lipped on crucial components of the investigation, including how the girls died or what kind of condition their bodies were in when they were found. They have not yet revealed what kind of evidence they have against Allen. So here we are. The day has finally arrived. An arrest has actually been made in the Delphi murders. So what do we make of this revelation, I guess you could say? Now, obviously we're not going to know more until Monday, until the press conference is carried out by law enforcement. But my initial thoughts regarding this arrest is, what exactly is this man's connection to Keegan Klein? Does he have any connection to Keegan Klein? And how did he turn up on law enforcement's radar? Now, as I said earlier on, clearly we're very, very early into the news regarding this arrest of Richard Allen, so anything I say is basically pure speculation at this point. But my best guess at this moment is that there is some kind of link here between this individual and the Kleins. And most likely this revolves around the Dropbox association or Dropbox investigation. All of this CSAM that was recovered from Keegan Klein's phone, which launched this massive investigation, the biggest in Indiana state history, concerning indecent material. I believe it's somehow linked with that. Some kind of contact between these individuals and Richard Allen. The other thing I could suggest is that actually there's no connection at all. And Keegan Klein has actually been a smokescreen. Now, this has just flashed through my mind this morning, actually. Could it be that the whole Klein angle, the whole Keegan Klein, his dad, was actually a smokescreen the entire time? Is that a possibility? The reason I say that is because I'm looking at what has been released out into the public domain. I have always found it personally a little bit strange that all of this information was leaked out into the public domain, mainly from the Murder Sheet podcast, who do a fantastic job in covering this crime. So I do wonder if that was done intentionally. And I don't mean just intentionally in terms of gaining information on potential suspects, but whether there was a different motive behind releasing that material. What I do also find a little bit puzzling is that if there is a connection here between Keegan Klein and this Richard Allen, then why was Keegan Klein, during that police interview, the police interview he did with Barbara McDonald, in that interview, he's almost thrown his dad under the bus in some ways. He had gone from some time earlier saying, no, my dad couldn't have done it. He was with me the whole time. We were together. There's no way that he's responsible for these murders. He sort of flipped from that to, well, yeah, my dad could be. He could be physically capable of doing it. So it's very odd. Why would he almost throw his dad under the bus if he knew that this Richard Allen was responsible? I do find that a little bit bizarre, to be perfectly honest. Now, I guess the only way that I can really rationalise some kind of connection between Keegan Klein and this Richard Allen, combined with the fact that Keegan Klein almost throws his dad under the bus during that Barbara McDonald interview, the only way that I can really rationalise that is if they believed that Richard Allen was the weak link. If Keegan Klein and his father did have some involvement in the murders, or at least some knowledge of these murders, maybe they were connected, as I say, via the Dropbox account or messages they'd exchanged. Maybe the Anthony Shots profile set up the meeting for that day and they knew what was going to take place. And actually they believed that Richard Allen was indeed the weak link. If they get hold of Richard Allen, then we're all going down. Maybe they felt a little bit safer with it between themselves. Okay, if they arrest my dad, he's going to say this. If they arrest my son, you're going to say that. What we don't want is for them to bring in Richard Allen, because then we're all going to get done. Now, that is something that I've made mention of in previous Delphi videos that I've created, that really the Anthony Shots profile, it could just be that that account simply facilitated the meet with the girls. And we obviously know that Keegan Klein was a prolific user of the Anthony Shots account. So I think there's every possibility here that, as I say, this account simply facilitated the meet. Richard Allen was there on the day. Maybe Keegan and his father, or Keegan and whoever, didn't actually know that the girls were going to be murdered. But when that did occur, they then thought to themselves, Christ, okay, we're now implicated in the murders of these girls. What are we going to do? Now, clearly we're going to have to wait until Monday until more information is released. But as I said earlier in this video, my best guess at this point in time is that there is some connection between Keegan Klein and this Richard Allen. And I think another thing which tips me off to that is the fact that when we look back at the police interview with Keegan Klein, there was this dialogue, there was these chat transcripts, the discussion of exchanging images, and the person that Keegan Klein, or supposedly Keegan Klein, was exchanging those images with was someone who had a girl's name, or his username was that of a girl. And the officer said, "We believe that you're actually talking to a man here and you're exchanging explicit images." So there's clearly connections here with other individuals who aren't out there in the public domain. I believe there's every possibility that they've taken a look at these devices, they've traced the users of these accounts, and I wouldn't be surprised if Richard Allen appeared in that document somewhere under possibly a girl's name or some other alias. One little piece of interesting information I learned last night came from this following photograph. Now, many of you may have seen this online, but if you look in the background here, it's what appears to be one of the sketches regarding the case. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this case here. Has this individual killed before? Has this individual got a long list of victims? I guess ultimately that's going to be found out all in due course. But very, very eerie, very, very strange. A very, very strange individual. And clearly we're going to learn more, as I say, in the coming days. Anyway, let's wait until Monday until we have the official press conference. I look forward to seeing that. I'll hopefully upload that onto the channel once that takes place. And as always, many thanks for joining me for this video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Have a good weekend. Take care.